Okay, nice to see you guys. Well, welcome again. Yesterday, I was talking about how to detect non-truth. How do you detect non-truth? How do you detect non-truth? Actually, we had an incident today that we were talking about that actually talks to us about non-truth. A lot of incidences are happening these days that just talk about non-truth. Not necessarily lie, but it's still non-truth. Not necessarily true, but it's not true and it's not lie. So in fact, I think you these days will begin to notice a lot of those similar stuff all around now after we started addressing this situation. Okay, now the question that I have for you people is, should I just name the 7 criteria of detecting non-truth that I gave to you yesterday, of looking for the evidence, or I should call it somebody to come and name them? Because you people are supposed to write them down. If anybody wrote them down, maybe you come and remind me what are those 7 points. So what are the 7 criteria to detect non-truth that I gave you yesterday?
All right, sir. So the first one is to look for the reference or the evidence.
Okay, so will you give a little bit explanation about those things?
Okay, so for example, if let's say the non-truth is sow and become rich. So
sorry?
Sow a seed and become
okay.
rich.
Okay.
Maybe that's what has been preached. Sow a seed and they become rich. So the first one is, okay, where did that come from? Where is the source? Or look, where's the reference? Where's the reference? Is it the Bible? Who said it? Was it my father or the pastor or
the man of God?
Or the man of God. So that's the
or
first
the bishop or GO.
Yeah.
What is the reference? Where did you hear that from?
Where did you hear from?
Yeah, that message that sow and it will become money. Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Since it's not in the Bible, so who said it? Okay.
So that's the first question. So
because when the Bible talks about sowing, it's not talking about money. It's talking about seed, physical.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the second one is, what is the source, or what or who is the source of the evidence? So, for example, if it is from the Bible, okay. So whose statements?
Yes. Is it from the new or from the
new or old, or
who said
Jesus?
It? Or it was Satan himself who said
Satan.
it? Or it was John the Baptist?
Yes.
Or it was Moses?
Or Moses.
Those things matter. Why do you think it matters? What is the source? Who says it? Who said it?
Because for us, for example, a very wonderful example is what Moses said in the Old Testament, that an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and
thou shalt not suffer.
And thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Okay.
So that was what was said by Moses. But then Jesus showed up in the New Testament
and said the opposite.
And then he said, you once heard an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, but now I am telling you this.
I am telling you this.
Yes,
I am the author of life.
Yes.
And I'm telling you this. But the Son of Man, the people of God, see head on to which one? One does wish to live.
Yes.
That's the one they prefer. Even though Jesus said, I've come to tell you, I'm now telling you this, that you have had. It was said like that. And it was said like that. But me, I've come. I'm now telling you, don't avenge yourself.
Yes.
But people are saying, but if I don't kill him, he go kill me now. But they don't believe what Jesus said. That if you love him, he will not kill you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's the second one. So the second one, I repeat it, that what is the source of the evidence? Now, then the third one is that you have to ask for the primary source. So in asking for the primary source, what you want to know is where is it
where did it
originate from? Yeah. So talking about the real origin.
Because if you say Moses said it, where did Moses get it from? What was the situation? Did Moses say it because in the wilderness these things were happening, and the situation, the response was needed, or it was a condition that was demanded it for that particular time?
Yes. For example, let me give an example that we talked about yesterday about the issue of women keeping quiet in churches and things like that. And one thing that happened that time was, it was during the Roman Empire. And in the Roman Empire, women were not regarded as
human beings.
As humans. So,
as good as your cows and animals in the
exactly,
in the culture, yeah.
Exactly. And you mentioned that it was in the 1920s that women began
to be regarded as human beings.
Exactly. So if it was
women didn't vote in the 1920s.
Yeah.
They couldn't even vote. They were not even counted in the population. So when each time you hear that Jesus fed 5,000, that's they don't count women as children, because they were not regarded as fully human, as human beings. Even though that woman they are saying is not fully human. Now they say sleep with to produce them children.
Come on now.
So something that somebody who is not fully human, how come you are lying together with her to be mating with her? So you are mating with something that is not human. You are mating with animal to produce human. You know, with people, Okay, be at the here.
Yes, sir. So I'll repeat the third one. That's you have to ask for the primary source. Then the fourth one is it a reported source? Is it from a reported source, or is it a secondary?
Yeah,
a second-hand source. So there are some sources that are reported, like it was someone that said it to another person.
Yes.
Or it can be a second-hand source.
Because in Nigeria right now, most of the practices you will see in churches, if either it's giving or it's deliverance or it's breakthrough or it's prophet seed or it's faith seed or anything you see most people do in churches, even up to praise and worship practice, the way it's done, all the instruments, everything you see going on in churches these days is because they have, not because they have seen in the Bible, but because they have seen some men of God that they respect do those things, and they just repeat them. Yes, go ahead.
All right. So next is the fifth one, and that's the question of the authority of the source and evidence. So we must we must question the authority of the evidence and the source. And we can connect this with the words of the old prophets when they said some things, and the words of Jesus. Whose authority? Or the words of your pastor and the words of Jesus? Because many times now people can't even they can't stand saying this is what is in your Bible, this is what Jesus said. But what they will say is this is what our man of God said. So whose authority actually weighs more? Is it what your pastor said or what Jesus said? Is it whose authority should you actually subscribe to? Whose authority should you give yourself under to? Is it what a man said or what God said? So the authority of the evidence and the authority of the source is one question that you must ask to decipher if this is a non-truth or it is a truth or lie. So that's the fifth one. And then very importantly is the timing. The timing. This is very important, because there are some things that could be permissible and could operate well before the cross, before the coming of Jesus. And after the cross of Jesus, it is abolished. There is no need for it. For example, someone telling you that before you can hear God and before you can talk to God, you need to talk to Him. Well, I've had this said before, that you don't need God to talk to you. If I am your pastor, God speaks to me, and if I speak to you, it is as good as God talking to you.
And they will have reference of.
And then they have a reference.
Bible.
Yes, and they would and from the Bible they would talk to they would say things that what would God have to say if He doesn't say it through His prophets. And I think I paraphrase that. Well, if God will have anything to say, He would reveal it to His prophet, and so His prophets will get the word from God and then convey the message to the people.
So who are you who is not for a prophet? How can God speak to you?
So who are you? You're not. Who are you that God will talk to? But that was applicable before the cross. That was applicable before God gave out His Spirit to all men and anyone that receives Jesus to have the indwelling presence of the Holy Ghost. So the timing is very important. Was this before the cross, or was this after the cross? Was this applicable during the 90s and is applicable now in the 21st century? Because in the Bible, for example, some people come like, why should a pastor have a car? Or why should a pastor have, or why should Christians have or live in big houses and things like that? Well, during the time of Jesus, there was no car then. During the time of Jesus, what they had was just animals. So if he wants to transfer himself from Jerusalem to Jericho, he had to go with an ass. So now, because it was not in the Bible that Jesus Christ used a car, so now I can't use a car. Timing. Now we don't have to go with asses and with donkeys. We go with cars. Well, times have changed. There's been improvement in technology. So because it was not written in the Bible that Jesus Christ had a car, does it mean I should not have a car? Well, I've had people make this kind of insane analysis, and I'm like, come on, let's understand the timing. This happened like centuries ago. This was years ago where nothing like this was happening. But now we have things like this. So understanding.
Or the situation with the woman.
Or with the woman, exactly. That, well, about the covering of the air, I want to address this. Let me keep this person. I'll keep the person anonymous. The person went to church, and it was a church that they were keen on covering the hair, the lady's hair. And then she didn't have any, because I think she was coming from work, or she was coming from town, and then her hair wasn't covered, and then she had to attend the service because there was nothing she could use to cover her hair. And what she used was she had to just look for a piece of paper, and tore the piece of paper, and they just covered it on her head, so that our worship will be acceptable. Pastor told us, and I learned that earlier, the whole idea behind the covering of the hair. During that time, that's why we have to be lovers of truth. Because by being lovers of truth, we go and seek for knowledge. Why was this happening? Why did they practice this? So why was the practice of the veiling of the lady's hair or a woman's hair? That was the sign to show that she was married. So when you see a woman who is veiled, who covers her hair, for you, that's enough for you to know that she is married. And now, what we need to know someone is married is the wedding ring. So if a woman...
Times have changed.
So, well, good luck to those who are wearing headgears. And then the seventh is for the place of personal documentation and personal experience. And here, don't just...
Personal experiences,
personal testimonies,
not documentation.
Yeah, no documentation.
Lack of documentation.
Mm-hmm. Before you believe anything, and before you believe anyone saying something, and the person just coming to say, well, I did this, I
had a dream.
Well,
or God just showed me.
Yeah.
There are 100 people here with $1,000 each.
Yeah, so that's the seventh criterion.
What are the examples now?
So, okay, for the example of this, now, the people that can come and then share testimonies, I think this is how...
I was in Arizona or something.
Yeah, he was in one country 10 years ago, and then he called out this seed, and there was this woman, she came out to give the seed, and then
gave her last.
And they gave her last money. And then I just left the place, and then I came back like 2 years later, and somebody was running behind me saying, Pastor, you know me, I was the woman that came out the other time, and I gave my last money, and today I'm a millionaire. Okay, what's her name?
Where is the woman?
Where is the woman? Well, where's the money? Present the account. Let's know. So those things I just that just cajole you. And so, those that just stir up your, not your faith,
emotions.
Stir up your emotions to give. If someone is saying he did this, let him present the documentation. And that's one thing I actually...
Or for example, people come out of the wheelchair.
Yes.
Those things like people come out of the wheelchair, there is a lot of fraud in it.
Yes.
It's not documentation.
Yeah.
Because some of what I've discovered is that there are prominent churches, even prominent evangelists in America. You could go to the internet right now and mention the leading evangelist that is people are coming out of wheelchair from. and go to the YouTube and put the name of that person and say that the miracles of this person, then you discover that people are being sat down on the wheelchair who are just having little back pain. They will say, okay, let's... and the ones who are really sick and nobody touches them. You are on your own.
Special case.
Yeah, so all those wheelchair something, a lot of fraud there. Yeah. But in Nigeria, what they do is that there is a prominent church also. He used to dress like the American one. So there are two of them who are friends now. So that one, he will go and train the people who are supposed to be on wheelchair and train them very well for like a week. Give them hotel to stay in. Feed them very well. And then they will make them sit in front on wheelchair. So when it's time, they just all the helpers tell them, come on. That's how they begin to. Then they will be carrying it. But the wheelchairs belong to the church. It is the church wheelchair. They just sat them there.
Organized miracles.
Organized miracles. Organized signs and wonders. So that's why all the things must be. So that's why the next point that I'm going to be talking about today is going to be what I call it, reviewed. Can the evidence be reviewed? Just like those signs are wheelchairs now. Can they be reviewed? Because if you begin to review some of those wheelchairs, you will discover, in fact, it is a member of their church who is telling me this. So some of the photographs that they have, and if you go to YouTube and check out the Nigerian one that is wearing all kind of dress and saying people are on wheelchair. All the people who are doing wheelchair have something in Nigeria. You see that the beginning of the testimony, they always have different dress or different even the wheelchair that they used to come there was always different from the one they used to bring them to the stage. If you just trace it, pay attention to detail, you will discover that didn't happen to the testimony. They are saying that I was like this. That was 3 months ago before he got ill. And they give him medical something to become healed. So a lot of manipulations. And the reason why manipulations are around miracles and signs and wonders is because people are not basing their judgment on truth, but they base their judgment on miracles. Yeah. So the more miracles is being performed in one particular place, that is the evidence that God is there. But in the real sense, that is not miracle we should be using to judge truth. True miracles shouldn't be the basis to decide truth. Okay, Shioma is writing here. That church, she knows the church I'm talking about. That church is the biggest cult in Nigeria. And they have made the man of God so powerful through their seed. They have given so much seed to the man of God that the man of God is now so powerful that you can't touch him. And if you try to do anything, they will send killers after you. So these are just fraudsters. So thank you so much, Anu. Now today, the second way to detect non-truth, I've given you the majority of the things, but the second way to discover and detect non-truth is that the evidence that people are using, or the proof that people are using to make their judgment or to decide to make their decision, ask them this question: can that proof be reviewed? So can the evidence be reviewed? Now, the reason I got to know about this, why this one is very important for me, is because one day in Nigeria, this story hit all the main media. And this is what I cannot understand. Nigerian media will carry anything sensational. So what the news was that a newborn baby was born with a little Quran in his hand from the mother's womb. You didn't hear that? Yeah. You heard about it?
I heard about it.
You even heard about it too?
Yeah, but I didn't know it was Nigeria.
Yes, that a little Quran, the guy brought it from heaven. That's what they said. This little boy, that was given birth to came from heaven itself with Bible in his hand. I mean, not Bible, with the little Quran in his hand. And sensation started. All the neighbors started making noise. Then they go to television and everybody said, this is the Quran. And let's review this something now. Let's go to the hospital where the baby was delivered. Who was there? Because there is no way a little Quran will be in that boy's or in that baby's womb and not get wet. Why it didn't get wet though? That one, even if you say it get wet and it's not red, it's not wet in blood, also that's another problem. How can the thing come out of the mother's womb and no blood, no even water touch it?
Another miracle, Pastor. This is another miracle.
Another miracle.
Another miracle. That the Quran was.
Yeah, so it is false because there is no way paper will be in the water because the baby is surrounded by water, and when that baby is coming out, it's surrounded by blood. So there is no way the baby himself will be full of blood everywhere, and the Quran is just clean. And small Quran, and the baby's hand cannot even hold the Quran because the Quran itself is bigger than the baby's hand. But so because people don't review evidences, so in my country people just say, "Oh, the man of God has said it," or newspaper has carried it, or they showed it on television. I saw the Quran myself. But ask, let's review. Or recently now, there is another miracle that a certain tree had an Arabic inscription that Allah Akbar, God is great. In Arabic, the tree was growing up, and when the tree germinated and grew up to be big, it had an inscription. You could trace the inscription and now show it. No, that it's the words are written. It's growing on the tree together, and since it's not freshly written, and because it's grown up together, they are saying, so now in Nigeria, I think it's in the state of one of the states in Jangala or something like that. One of the states in Nigeria. So it is now that tree now is being turned to a shrine, and people are worshiping it. But they didn't know that if it is reviewed. If that thing is reviewed historically and evidentially and do scientific review, that you will discover that one of the puppies, the Arab puppies, they were studying under the trees, and most of them were normally studying under the trees. He inscribed that thing as he was studying when the tree was still young. So over the years, now the tree has grown up. And the inscription remains. Now we say it is God that has appeared. The same thing with some charismatics. They will tell you that gold fell from somewhere. They will go to church and fall down and say gold has appeared. So why are you poor? If your gold is appearing and you are poor, how come? Go sell it now and make money. You've not heard of that? It happens. So gold dust. And gold, teeth is still okay, but gold dust, falling down, koro like metal, gold. That is like saying God is making material things from spirit. A lot of foolishness going on these days in the churches, and just because they cannot look at one little evidence, which is let's review it. Let's review. Give it to me. I go take them to the laboratory. Let's go to the laboratory together. Some people even say feathers, angels' feathers are falling. In the church, they will say they found feathers of. So how do you told you that angel, that feather you found, it is angel? Who even told you that angels have feather? Because it is only in one place that is recorded that some form of angels had feathers. All the other places where angels appear in the Bible, no feather. There is almost no confirmation in the Bible. Look at the Bible. All the places where angels appear in the Bible, no feather. And the ones, the cherubim and seraphim that are having feather, they are not the little feather of a bird or of some chicken. No. This will not be chicken. If you are talking about angel feather, it should be 2 meters long. It's not this chicken, you know, and what do you call the chicken, the small chicken. The chicken feather you are finding here. You are saying the angel feather. Are you kidding me? And some Christians, some born again, charismatic, they buy into that. So if you want to tell me that it's the cherubim and seraphim's feathers that fell, that one should be 2 meters, 1 meter long. It shouldn't be the size of the chicken, the little baby chicken. You don't tell me that those angels are so insignificant. Spirituality, eh? Just ask them one question. One, not be two. One question. Only one question. Review. Let's review the thing. We are going to do research here. Let's do the research. Let's review. So anytime people come to you with some stories, with some bogus stories that give 1,000, I mean, okay, some people will say, give and it shall be given unto you. Then why are you asking me? Go and practice it now. Yeah. If you want to say that give and it shall be given you, it works. But you are the one who say you are preaching and you believe it. And go and give to me now, me I day. I go collect. If you are a preacher, you believe that give and it shall be given to you, it works. Yeah. And me I day now, we are many here, church members. Begin to distribute, begin to shower us with the gift, with the money. Let it multiply for you. We are not going to jealous. But why is it that we are the one that has to work for the opposite? That we are the one who don't believe. And then we are the one to be bringing the thing to you. Yeah. You believe. Yeah. But it is you who believe who is supposed to be practicing what you believe. Yeah. Why should you be telling me to practice it? What you believe? If you really believe it, let's try it now. Practice it on me I day. I will volunteer. And I don't even want it to multiply for me. Let it multiply for you yourself. Edwin, baby say we need to reintroduce. I said, Pastor Sunday, you have said it before that we need to reintroduce Christianity in Nigeria afresh. He said, now I agree with you. We need to reintroduce the whole thing. The whole thing needs to start afresh in that country. Yeah. So anyway, for you to detect non-truth, it's a very simple thing to do. Go for review. Try to find a way to review that thing that man has just said. So if they come now and tell you that I was in California last year, and one woman came and I said, you are there, you don't have a womb, and the woman just got a womb and the womb appeared, and now so if any one of you don't have womb or if you are barren, I am here. Go and bring $1,000. Go and first of all, before I'm ready to give you that $1,000. But can you produce that woman first? Let me review the report that was there initially, the diagnosis. Let me see the report of the doctors. How long was she barren? What year was it removed? That womb removed? What was the name of the doctor that removed it? And who is the doctor that satisfied that the thing appeared also? Yes. Who is the doctor that satisfied that the thing appeared? All right. Okay. Now, where is the baby that was given birth to? Just review. Review. In fact, let me tell you a story. There is a big story. Maybe somebody from England will remember this. There is a big story right now happening in Kenya. In Kenya, a big story. But this story started from England. Then it went to Scotland. That story has traveled though. That story has traveled for over 10 years now. It's traveling all over the world. Now, what happened to this story is this. There is a man of God that used to be the most anointed man of God. That's the way to call him. He was the most anointed man of God in England. And the reason why he was the most anointed man of God in England by the decision of his followers or himself is that he produced more miracles than all other people. Because people don't use truth to judge. People don't use truth as a standard. truth is not the standard for judgment again for people. So instead of using truth as the standard to take decisions and to judge what is sane and what is insane, people are using miracles, spectacular things that are spectacular, manifestations as the basis for their judgment. So what happened to this man? There was a man there that is called something Dyer, Gilbert Dyer. The name of this man of God was Gilbert Dyer. So this Gilbert Dyer used to do many miracles like this. So, but it got to a point that other ministries also are doing miracles. But you have to be, since you are the most anointed, you have to strive to beat everybody else in your miracles. So the miracles he was doing by making people stand up from the wheelchair, but the Benign also has done that. So there's nothing special. But you have to be special, because for people to keep on coming to you, you have to do more miracles that other people have not done. So then the guy started doing other miracles, like opening the eyes of the dead, of the blind, and then the ears of the dead. So all those miracles became too small, because you see, how can you be repeating the same thing every Sunday? It's no more interesting. Yeah. So the miracles of children giving birth, barrenness, giving people getting husband is becoming not. This guy is a very elaborate guy. He's a very what do you call him? It's a man with big taste and big big size and big taste. He's very extravagant and he's very lousy. So this man needed his own miracle to be growing by the bounds, bound by bond every time. So, yes. So this Bishop Dyer, he now came up with, and people were rushing to his church. He was having more followers than any other person. But if you listen to the man, if you are having common sense, and you listen to the man for 5 minutes, in his language and tongue alone, he should be able to communicate to you that the guy is a crook and is a fraud. But people will just use miracle and remove their head. I mean, professors were going there. I mean, educated people were going there. Graduates were going there. So, but then the guy is very smart. He noticed that for the African crowd that he was having, it is the miracle of children that is the biggest miracle. Yes. If you can make somebody that is barren and gone to any hospital to have children, you are the biggest anointed man of God in town. So you know what the guy did? He collided with his wife. And now they started making sure that any barren person gets a child. So, but after making sure that every barren person gets a child, which was good enough, but that was also being done in other ministries. It is not too supernatural enough. How could you? But he still want to do it so that it will be through the giving birth of the children. So now he came up with another. His own miracle was supposed to be the only one. Like even Jesus didn't do it. Because he has said, Jesus has said, greater work shall he do. So he came with greater work like that. And the greater work, this man came up. In fact, I need a woman here. You are so beautiful today. You come. You are the beautiful woman without a child. You don't have a child, eh? Yeah, we are going to do an experiment. We are going to do an experiment on you, yes. You fit. You are married, yes? You don't have children yet.
No.
You qualify for Gilbert Dyer's miracle. You qualify, yes. So, what Dyer will say, if I was there and you are the one that doesn't have children, is that this, normal woman, for her to give birth, you need how many months? You are a medical doctor.
9 months.
9 months, good. So, but in Dyer's ministry, so that the miracle is spectacular. Yeah, and that will be unique. So what Dyer will do is that it will tell you, when I pray for you, you will be pregnant 3 times within a year. Yes. And all the 3 children will be given birth. That will not be small. You have to, if you get pregnant just once in a year and give birth to just one child in 1 year, that one a small miracle. It's not my size of miracle anymore. Yeah, it's not Gilbert Dyer size. So the kind of miracle that Gilbert Dyer was showing, you will know that 1 child in a year is too. Because before he started by saying every year you'll be giving birth. So she was giving birth every year before. No, not alone. No. People were coming, testifying that we are giving birth every year. And nobody was saying the stomach. But to say, but that's the miracle now. That's where the miracle is now. But even for you to be giving birth every year, that means you have to be giving birth. We have to be pregnant every 3 months.
Yes.
Yes?
4 months, yeah.
3-4 months interval. Is that not too much for you? So, but I myself saw the testimony of human beings. Women were coming forward to say that 5 years ago I was already barren, but in 5 years I have 5 children, and none of them was 2 times. So every year I gave birth. But where it was now caught was that the one of giving birth every year also looks too ordinary also for its size of miracle. So it's now started the one that say, you alone, you will have 3 children or 3 pregnancies in 1 year. And women were coming out to testify. Women were coming out that I was pregnant in January, now I had it in March. And then in April, I got pregnant again. Now I had that one in July. Then in this July, I got pregnant again. Now I had that one in October. And January, I will have another one. This will not be story. In fact, if you go to the YouTube right now, you will find Gilbert Daya Miracle Children or something like that. And you see it? Is there? Yeah. So I'm not lying.
We know you're not lying.
So then, even then, people were believing him that's miracle now. Is God? Is there anything God cannot do? So when you doubt it, they say, so you are saying there is something God cannot do. Who are you to say there is something? Who are you to say there is something God cannot do? So you just say, of course, God can do everything. So what's your problem? Only that he's the most anointed, that's all. So one day, the wife was caught bringing in 4 children with some fake passports and fake names. He was caught at the airport in Kenya. She was caught. Then they discovered that they had gone to build a house in the village where they pay women to get pregnant. All these little girls who get pregnant. And they harvest those children. And they harvest them and import them to UK. Because people who are desperate in UK, they just tell them that the most important thing is that you are pregnant. You are having children. Okay. So they collaborate with church members who are having miracles, who need miracles. The most important thing is you have a child. So he fought it that it would not be, because then the UK government got involved in it. And then they wanted to send him back to face justice. And he was fighting it in the law. So he ran away from England and went to Scotland. And now they just deported him back to Kenya at last. And he's still claiming that there is nothing God cannot do. That it is God's miracle that God is doing. And that, the judge cannot judge him because he's a man of God. Oh my God. Emenike said, I met him personally several times. But he said, I refuse to believe that baby machine. Wow. So some of you have followed some ridiculous human beings before. So if you want, we could introduce you. To become world champion.
No,
Oh, thank you. Evidence. So that kind of miracle that people believe in, and his church grew because of this miracle. People believed him and people were trooping into his church. And the only thing you needed was just to ask for evidence. Review the evidences. Review the proofs. But our people are not used to, telling men of God. Emenike is saying, I pity myself. That I used to go to such a place. I pitied myself, for following this kind of nonsense. Can you believe it? And in the next 10, 20 years, a lot of those things that are being called miracles in the churches, in those African churches, people will blame themselves. They will regret it that they ever follow those so-called men of God. Because when I see all those men of God that are being followed right now in Nigeria, it's just the same thing. Of course, some of them have senses. They are not so outrageous like that. Their claims are also outrageous, but some of them are the same thing. Review the evidence that beg and the beg now. Ask for the evidence, review it. If you cannot verify something by the doctors or in the hospital or in the laboratory, forget about it. Leave those churches where they are claiming those outrageous stuff. Even the biblical, word of God. When people could say some things, a lot of claims, fallacies being claimed, doctrines being claimed in our churches. Not just concerning miracles, even concerning money and concerning teaching and practices in churches. They are just a lot of rubbish that we could easily have reviewed just looking in the Bible. I mean, they caught somebody. Can you imagine? Do you know that in Nigeria, in my country, they say that you could do there are some witchcraft you could do to bring you money. So you could go and contact some powerful, in Ghana too they have it. Yeah, you could go and find some powerful men of God. Either some herbalists or some men of God or some powerful prophets. And they will do sacrifice for you. So in my country, yesterday, I just read in the newspaper that one guy was caught. And the guy that was caught he said, I was tired of poverty. So because he was tired of poverty, his friends recommended for him to go find this powerful man of God. That is the one that is responsible for all the wealth that he has been making. So he went and saw the powerful man of God. And then the powerful man of God said, go and bring the head of a virgin.
He's a man of God.
Yes, he's a prophet. He is a prophet, man of God. Powerful. So this guy went and killed a 13-year-old. So when he was taking the head and the body to they called the head separate and put it in a separate bag and the body in a separate bag and was taking it to go and make ritual. Because they said if they put that head, in fact, there are some people who, even I heard this when I was growing up in Nigeria, some people say, even some movies, the Nigerian movies propagate this kind of rubbish.
Yes.
So they say, if you put that head in the corner, in some corner in your place like this, that mouth, it will be pouring out money. Money will, your currency will be coming out. So the thing is that, so what currency is coming out? Is it naira or dollar or pound? Or, so who decides? Where is it printed? That you just hang the head of that baby, of that virgin in that place. It will just, so because of this kind of, myth that are being propagated by our film industry, they are supporting them. And because of these, rumors and these, just nonsense stories, people believe it. Ignorant people, illiterate people believe these things. And you know what they do? They go and be looking for virgins or heads that will be pouring out money like this every evening. You just come to that head like this. You just say some few words or incantation, and money will just be coming. It will be raining down money on you. So, and then all those spraying, the spray of money spraying, they say, he has some head raining down money for him. So everybody wants to get their own head. Just because we don't verify stuff. Then the police caught him, and they caught the prophet also. And the prophet, who is the powerful man of God, who just was under the police arrest in shame, couldn't, just nothing. Okay, for example, you were showing me, where is it, but maybe you can show me again, that a certain minister who lives in England went to Ghana, and with another man of God in Ghana, they came together with a list of how much money you should pay for. Yeah, but we had it somewhere. We copied it somewhere, and there were photographs, and even Success had the photograph of that thing. But after we started talking about it, they went to quickly remove it from their website. These are reputable men of God, though, who are claiming these outrageous claims. Can you read what is there?
Yes. So
you tell me. Number one is what?
Number one is 24-hour miracle. This is.
Have you ever heard of those things? 24 hours miracle. So what about if I give you the money, I can even try you. I give $10, and if 24 hours miracle, how much is 24 hours miracle?
$250.
$250. So they will not take my $10.
40, sorry. 200.
240. So my $40 will not suffice.
It's small.
It's too small. So for me to have 24 hours miracle, let's say you are barren. So if you are barren now, you must have the child in 24 hours or be pregnant in 24 hours. How can you have 24 hours miracle when your husband is living abroad and you are barren? So just use, logic. So after the 24 hours miracle, which one is the next one?
Millionaire status, and this costs $5,000.
So millionaire status. So if it's in 24 hours also, I will add millionaire status to 24 hours miracle. So will I become a millionaire in 24 hours? And these are supposed to be men of God. What are the names? Maybe we should name the name.
Yeah,
Yes,
Matthew
please.
Ashimolowo.
Who?
Yes, please. Matthew Ashimolowo.
Matthew Ashimolowo is the one who do this.
Yes.
And who is the one in Ghana?
Mensa Otabel.
Mensa Otabel. These are supposed to be real ministers.
Yeah.
I used to like them so much.
They are supposed to be real ministers. How can Otabel put this on his page? I mean, he looks like a sensible guy. How can he go and do this? And Ashimolowo too. So who is now real? These are all confirmation that none of these people must be followed anymore. Is that clearer? Okay, bring that one that is clearer and smaller. Okay, so which is the next one?
1,000 times more. This is
Seed of what? Completion. What is seed of completion?
seed of perfection.
Perfection.
And this
Completion.
is seed
Yeah.
of completion, yes.
Okay, seed of completion is what?
This is
How much do they want for that?
$520.
Ooh, it's almost the same thing as millionaire.
No, millionaire.
5,000.
Millionaire is what?
5,000.
$5,000. And completion, what complete? What should I complete? If I want to complete my house, so if I want to complete my house now, I should go and give this money and the house will complete itself. No, the fact that people like Otabel will put this was on Otabel's website. And then Matthew is putting his name there. Matthew Ashimolowo's name is there. How could they do this? Then what is the other one? I can't see it.
The other one is
Millionaire status is
5,000.
5,000.
1,000 times more.
1,000 times more.
This is here.
And this, what is 100% life
Improvement.
improvement? What is that?
Double your life. If you're going to live 10 years.
100% life,
Improvement, $100.
$100. Okay, then what is the next one?
Seed of perfection.
1,000 times more. Wow! I thought we were just saying that. I didn't know there is a seed for that.
Yes, there is.
1,000 times more is $1,000. My God, these people are raking in money. Oh.
People we are rushing.
Then the seed of perfection is almost $70.
Only.
Wow.
And that is that one. Christ has done a lot for the perfection.
Wow.
It's everything just assist.
Wow. I'm dying. 1,000 times more what? It didn't say more problems.
And this person is saying, Cecile says, RCCG2 had their list of seeds on the Facebook page and website.
Yes.
Print it for us now. We are going to help them to remove it too. We are going to help them to talk about it. And after we talk about all of them, they are running to remove very fast. If you, Cecile, if you find any other church that has any kind of thing like that put out on the website, I will go and help them talk about it. They will go and remove it very fast. All of them will be repenting and be becoming body again. And that's the advantage in mentioning names. When you mention them, they will wake up. But when you are not mentioning names and you are just saying, oh, somebody somewhere said this, then they will remain the same. Okay. Stitches is asking me, Stitches projection. But Pastor, please, what do you think caused all these errors in churches today? It's one thing now. The love of money. Love of money, mammon. Everybody is casting out demons in Nigeria and in African churches. But let me tell you, Stitches, the biggest demon that needs to be cast out is sitting in the churches and in the GOs and the bishops and the senior pastors. And that biggest demon is called love of money. That biggest demon is called mammon. Mammon is ruling churches today full-fledged. There is a guy they call Francis Akinola. That guy mentioned everybody by name and was talking the truth, and everybody was getting annoyed because I posted his article. In fact, go and find the article I posted from Akinola, not the one I reposted, and repost it again. So that people will see it. Because but sometimes when you talk about these things, they say you are against people, you are exposing people, but they expose themselves now. Are they not the one who went to put it out? We're just repeating what they have already put out in their own page. So nobody is exposing anybody. They expose themselves by doing it. Why do you go and do it? By doing it publicly, you have exposed yourself. So it means you are not hiding. It means you are sure of what you are doing. I'm only showing what you put out by yourself. So that's all. So all kind of stories like this, and little verification would have done it. Just review the things. In fact, let me give you some scriptures. Galatians chapter 2, 1-2. I will not read them. I will just give you, or I should read them. No, by the time I read them, the time is no more there. Acts chapter 1, verse 1-3. John chapter 21, verses 24-25. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 6. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 7. And for yesterday's point that I gave, I also have scriptures for them. Yesterday's scripture is 1 John chapter 1, verse 1. Luke chapter 1, verse 1-4. Hebrews 11, verse 3. John 8, 44.